welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where of course we need full reaction to Barca's victory on Tuesday night by 5-0 in the Champions League. And coming up today, we're going to be talking about Raphinha's brilliance in this team, the return of Ansu Fati and Frankie De Jong, the impact of Marc Casado, along with all of the words, of course, from Hansi Flick, and we really must talk about Ferran Torres. All of that is on the way for you. Plus, of course, our brand new goalkeeping signing, now official, Szczesny. Let's do this. Because today's video, guys, is actually coming to you courtesy of SofaScore today, who in my opinion are the home of the most reliable player ratings on the planet. And they tell us that last night in the game against Young Boys, it was Raphinha who was in a league of his own in this Barcelona team. And they also tell us that Ferran Torres apparently was the worst outfield player. Now, do you agree with those ratings there? Do you agree with how they've ranked it? And if you would like to download the SofaScore app, guys, for free, you can use the link in the description down below. And please do use that if you want to download it, because that means that SofaScore know that I sent you and somebody else doesn't get the credit there. I'm sure that you would really enjoy the app. I use it all the time, and I'm sure you would too. Because immediately after last night's game, guys, of course, Hansi Flick faced the media, and the feeling that I got from Hansi Flick yesterday was almost as though, yeah, it was a 5-0 win, yeah, it was the Champions League, but this is business as usual at Barca. This is what I want to be seeing from the team. He said that was our goal today, to win, to get the 3 points, and he said to win by 5 goals, it's a good start. And I just love how casually Hansi Flick talks about winning by 4, winning by 5, winning by 6, winning by 7. It's absolutely incredible the way this is routine, the way that we are scoring so many goals this season. Every single game there's emphasis on getting forward, on scoring more, doing more, and that's really, really important. And I think yesterday we did the job that we set out to do. No questions were asked. We kept our focus. We arrived with the right mentality, and we delivered in the Champions League. Now, the one man, though, who was absolutely spectacular, and like we said in the player ratings there, he was the best player for Barca last night, no doubt about it. Raphinha was unbelievable. And I have to say, guys, it's incredible to see the transformation. Every game right now that we're seeing Raphinha play in this way, with such confidence about his game, I think with such security in the kind of role that he's playing. And bear in mind, sometimes he's on the left, sometimes he's down the middle, he roams around, it doesn't matter where he is, he impacts the game, and he has that freedom and that license to show exactly what we saw last night. And even after the game there, Flick said once again, I knew Raphinha even before I came. And he said, I know how good he is. He's got a lot of self-confidence right now, and you can tell that he feels important for this team. He said, I really like players like Raphinha there, with a smile on his face. And you see that. Flick saying there, he feels important. That's exactly what we are seeing, because obviously we've spoken about the armband, we've spoken about the fact he feels more of a leader now. He loved getting the captain's armband, and Raphinha after last night's game went even further. He said, one of my dreams was to hear the fans chant my name. And he said it happened tonight, and it was an emotional moment for me. He said, I'm in the best moment of my career. I am happy to help Barca in the best way possible. And that's what Raphinha's doing this season, becoming one of the captains. Now hearing his name chanted around the stadium, becoming such an influential player in this team, he is living out all of his dreams. He is achieving everything that I'm sure he set out to when he joined this club. This is the Raphinha that we hoped that we'd sign, and I'm so impressed with him. Honestly, so impressed with what we've seen from him under Flick. But I did think it was very interesting still, though, guys, that after the game, Flick was asked more about individuals, of course, and even on Raphinha, he had to really be pushed into talking about him, because he often says, I don't really want to talk about individual players. And he was also asked about another star of the game, Pedri. We spoke about him in the review. What a performance it was from Pedri. And he was asked by the journalist there, with Pedri at this level, could you say that Barca can win everything in this season? But I think the answer was really important again from Hansi Flick, because he said, let me rephrase that. He said, with the team as united as we are, I'm convinced that the future will be bright for us. And that is what we hear right the way through Flick's press conferences. Yes, he may be impressed by individuals, by individual performances, but everything, absolutely everything, it's about the team. We cannot win without the team, and we certainly cannot win unless we work as a team. And that is what you get from him. Every answer there, it's real emphasis on that bond between everyone. But of course, last night, guys, in terms of the goal scoring, Raphinha got one of them, but there were two more goals to add to Lewandowski's name so far this season, which means that right now, he's got 2 in 2 in the Champions League, he's got 7 in 8 games in La Liga, and those right there, those are typical Robert Lewandowski numbers. That's what we needed from him this season. We needed him to be exactly as we know him to be, exactly as Flick knows him to be. Score the chances that come your way, put them away, and you will end up with a stack of goals to your name. And I do think, though, guys, you've got to say that Lewandowski wanted that hat-trick goal. And I think when he came off, he was actually quite frustrated there. You even saw him exchange a few words on the touchline there with Hansi Flick. And it was also the same, like we said yesterday, with Lamine Yamal. He wanted to stay out there and score. He was enjoying playing there in this kind of game. Both of them wanted to stay on, and they were disappointed to come off. And Flick was actually asked about those responses from Yamal, from Robert Lewandowski after the game, and the Spanish media, particularly there on Yamal, made quite a big deal out of what Flick said, but honestly, there's no need to. He said this is part of the game. He said we don't just have one player, we've got many. There are many, many games, and Lamine has had many minutes. He said given the match situation, it was the right time to rest him. And by the way, guys, that is absolutely right there, because I think many people have been saying, look, this is the opportunity to actually rest players, to rotate here. When you're 3 goals up, 4 goals up, 5 goals up, because we're scoring so much and because we're really putting teams out of sight, we should actually rotate in these moments right here more often than maybe we have so far, because he then went on to say, with Robert Lewandowski, it's the same situation here. I'm sure that he wanted to play more, but that's it. He said, I can't take into account whether a player wants to continue playing or not. And I think that's really, really important there. And that's the quote the Spanish media maybe thought was a bit strong there, speaking about Yamal, about Lewandowski, you know, I decide, I'm the one that makes the calls. But at the end of the day, he is. He's Hansi Flick. He's the Barcelona coach. If I decide it's time to take you off, if I decide here it's time for you to get rest, you get some rest. It is as simple as that there. And I think Flick has to take this responsibility as the coach. He has to stand up and say, look, I'm the one making the calls, and everybody wants to play. And that's a great thing. Everybody wants to be involved. Everybody wants to stay out there and enjoy the football that we're playing, but it's a long season. And we are playing the long game here, looking ahead. But of course, guys, we did have another extra special moment in yesterday's game with the return of Frankie De Jong to the field again after so many months there. So many frustrating months out injured for Frenkie, and you could see not only when he came on, in the time that he was on the field there, he was looking to be involved. I think he was just enjoying every minute that he was out there on the field, and after the game, massive, massive smile on his face. He said it's the best feeling to be back on the pitch. He said, I want to thank the fans for their applause, for their reception tonight. He said it feels really good, and I didn't expect it. I am very happy tonight there. And it's interesting that Frenkie would say, look, I didn't expect the applause, didn't expect the reception I got from the crowd, because he didn't get a great reception in the Joan Gamper Trophy at the start of the season, but now really nice for Frenkie to feel the warmth of the crowd on his return to the team. And of course, last night, he only got 15 minutes of play. I'm sure he'll get some more as well at the weekend, and right now, it's just about easing him back in here very, very slowly after such a long absence in the team, and also bearing in mind the type of injury that it was as well. Even before the game, he was saying about his ankle, it's going to take time to build up that confidence again, to build up the strength and the feeling to play at my usual level. I think he's going to need more training now on his side, more minutes, and I think it's going to be great for him to have the entire international break just around the corner, and he could almost use that in a way as a mini pre-season to get himself more up to speed, because believe me, we are gonna need him. However, guys, what I would have to say on that, though, is that in the absence of players like Frankie De Jong in our midfield this season, one player who has stepped up, one player who has helped us enormously, you have to talk about Marc Casado. And let's be honest here, guys, this guy is playing so well, he is so impressive right now, that he is making a serious case to be one of the first names on the team sheet every single week. When he's not there, when he's not in that team, you notice it, you miss him, and that is a testament to everything that he is doing. And even last night, he's just everywhere. Even in a game like that where we're 3 up, 4 up, 5 up, he's maximum intensity. He is so impressive there in the way that he goes about his work. And what I would say as well, guys, you might not necessarily associate Casado's game style here as a controlling kind of influence, but he does control the tempo. Actually, in his urgency in winning balls back, recovering possession in absolutely key areas, and then moving it on quickly, I mean, that is essential. You won't find him there slowing down the pace. You won't find him there interrupting our flow. He is on it. He's moving that ball on as quickly as he receives it. He keeps supplying those ahead of him, and that is the perfect way to play in a Hansi Flick team. You want that quick ball circulation. You want that intensity, especially from the base of your midfield, and that is why Flick loves him. And that is why Casado, he is genuinely now a key player for us. However, guys, it was not all good in yesterday's game, and not every single player performed at that high level. Not every single player was pulling their weight, because I don't really like singling out players here, because I don't want to go all in on one player. But the fact of the matter is, we can't ignore there was one player in particular last night out there who wasn't playing well, and hasn't been playing well, and hasn't been offering enough. And we have to talk about that. We have to acknowledge here this level of performance, or lack of it. Because Ferran Torres, you all know who I'm talking about. I mean, that's the first thing. It's not even a surprise here that we come on to Ferran. He had back-to-back 90-minute games against Osasuna, now here against Young Boys. So what you can't say is that he hasn't had a chance, and he's been deployed in several different positions too. He's had every single opportunity to do something, and he just doesn't. And look, when I saw him in the lineup, I wasn't surprised. We knew that Ansu wasn't going to get a start after not having many minutes. We knew that it was probably between him or Pau Victor. And I actually thought, surely here tonight then, he's starting, he's got another chance in this game. We're up against Young Boys, we're going to score a few goals, it's going to be a comfortable win. Surely now then, Ferran can at least show something. He can at least do something here to be noticed by us Barcelona fans. He did nothing. The game passes him by, and that's my problem with him. You know, it's not necessarily even anymore that he's missing loads and loads of chances, that he's not good in front of goal, that the end product is lacking. He doesn't even get that far anymore. He's not even missing many chances because he doesn't even take up the positions anymore to make it happen. The game literally just passes him by. And I've got a super thanks here. Great supporter of the channel. You guys all know Matthew very, very well by now. He says here, the fact that Inigo Martinez had a bigger impact in attack than Ferran, it tells you all you need to know. And look, people might think this is harsh, but you're a Barcelona player. You've been signed for massive money by the club. You're on very, very decent wages as well. You expect more, and given the chances that he's had, he has simply not done enough, not even close to doing enough right now in this Hansi Flick team. And I think right now what we're doing is just passing time until the likes of Dani Olmo can return to this team. Fermin as well will return to that central area. Then you can put Raphinha back on the left. Ferran will drop back to the bench, because I said it earlier on in the season there, after we had to start with Ferran at the beginning of the season, and then when he went out of the team, when Olmo came in, everything really changed for us in terms of our quality. He cannot be a starter. Ferran cannot start in this Barcelona team in any game, in my opinion. Use him off the bench, use him when the game opens up, use him here for a bit part role, but he's not a starter. He has not shown enough anywhere near it to be in this team. Because you would imagine as well, guys, that the more minutes that Ansu Fati gets, for example, under his belt, well then the more that he can start pushing as well there for starts again in this team, to get himself up that pecking order, especially on the left-hand side, which is also something that we desperately need to see too. Because it was great to see Ansu Fati as well coming on yesterday, getting a significant amount of time as well. 30 minutes of football under his belt. That's That's really, really important. And Flick, after the game, he said that considering Ansu's injury here, considering the difficulties that he's had, he played at a very, very high level. He was impressed with the signs that we saw. We're going to keep trying to build on that there, because even yesterday, Ansu played in a bit more of an unfamiliar role. When he initially came onto the field, it was more settled as the game went on there in the latter stages, but it is going to take time with him too. Just like with Frenkie there, we want to see more of him. We're going to build up his minutes, but he will start to push soon, and he will start to put pressure on those ahead of him maybe that aren't pulling their weight. Let's see when Ansu gets more opportunities. But indeed, guys, away from the field here and away from last night's action in the Champions League, the big news of the day, it does concern Wojciech Szczesny. We've been waiting, haven't we? We've been counting down the minutes, honestly, until it became official, until he became a Barcelona player. And today, it has happened. Szczesny signed his contract this afternoon at the club there on a deal that runs until the end of the season. He's out of retirement. He is ready to go, and he is going to be pushing, I truly believe here, pushing for that starting berth in the goalkeeping role at the club. And I think it's going to be a really important time for him now. We spoke about him coming in here, getting up to speed. Another one, really, that will have a mini pre-season, or a full pre-season, to be honest, in the international break, given that Szczesny has been out of action for a few months. He's going to need to get back into things here, but it shouldn't take him all that long. And beyond there, the international break, that's going to be his moment. We're going to see him trying to impress Hansi Flick in training. We know about what he can do. That's the beauty of bringing in somebody here like Wojciech Szczesny. He's incredibly experienced. He's got pedigree at the top level there. He's played at some of the biggest clubs. He's played under very, very high-pressured situations. That's what we needed here, to bring in somebody who has all of that experience, who can bring it to the club, who can also be, as well, don't forget, guys, a help to those around him. We've got lots of young players in the team. It's a really, really young dressing room. And here, along with Lewandowski, of course, his Polish teammate, a very, very good friend of his, they can pass on that wisdom to those around them. They can help there to be that positive influence. And it's great to have him here. I'm absolutely delighted here to sign a player like Szczesny on a free transfer. It's top business from the club, and it's a really, really good signing in a difficult situation that we found ourselves in. And I would just like, guys, on a very special day here on the channel, to wish a very happy birthday. It was yesterday. It was during the game there, during that big, big win. Robert, I hope that you had a fantastic birthday there, my friend. And also want to give a shout out as well here to somebody who hasn't had the best of time recently. Things haven't gone as planned with their grad school admissions, but they are happy with a big Barca win in the Champions League, and they are happy here watching the video. So really, really appreciate that there, guys. Thank you for the support, and I hope you're all feeling good. I hope you're all doing well right now. Barca back on track, big Champions League win. But now, guys, you know the drill. Focus on the weekend. The next game is coming, and we will make sure that we are ready, guys. Thank you indeed for all of you here watching today. Please let me know all of your thoughts on the game and the Szczesny signing in the comments down below. I will see you soon, of course, for more. But until next time, as always, Vejska, Barca.